Disney decided to settle a lawsuit filed against them by Gina Carano, just like I said they would.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
Let's not bury the lead. From The Hollywood Reporter, quote, Disney and Lucasfilm have settled the lawsuit from Gina Carano, who accused the studios of discrimination and wrongful termination over her firing from The Mandalorian. Terms of the settlement, announced on Thursday, weren't disclosed. In a lawsuit filed last year, Carano alleged that she was fired for voicing right-wing opinions on social media and sought a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her. Tony Stark, making good on a promise to foot the legal bill for users who claim to have been discriminated against due to their activity on his platform, helped fund the suit through X. When Carano filed the lawsuit, I said that the situation was interesting because while California law does protect employees from being compelled to participate in political activities and being punished or threatened for expressing political views, there is nothing preventing an employer from banning harassment and discrimination by their employees in their code of conduct. So, if Disney considers Carano's comments to be harassment and discrimination, they are technically within their right to fire her, or in this case, not renew her contract. That seems to be where the issue lies. Disney attempted to get the court to dismiss the lawsuit on the grounds that Disney has the right not to associate with talent who imbue the Star Wars series with views that could turn fans away from the show. But the Biden-appointed judge handling the case rejected that because, according to her decision, Disney didn't provide, quote, any evidence in the complaint or otherwise to substantiate the claim that they employ public-facing actors for the purpose of promoting the values of respect, decency, integrity, or inclusion. In short, Disney didn't hire the actors to be the face of the company, so they can't use that argument. That was probably Disney's only means of getting the suit dismissed, short of claiming that it was a frivolous lawsuit. I said when Carano filed the lawsuit that Disney could make that latter argument, but if it looked like the case would go to trial, Disney would settle, and that's what they did. After all, Carano didn't ask for much. She sued them for $75,000 plus punitive damages and sought a court order that would force Lucasfilm to recast her. That $75,000 is chump change for Disney, so they could easily cut her a check for a cool $1 million just to shut her up. Or, as some of her supporters claim, quote, of course Disney must have wanted to avoid the absolute debacle that going through a pretrial discovery and what it would have revealed had a major influence. What are you talking about? Worst case scenario, they called her a crazy Trump supporter behind her back. There's nothing in the pretrial discovery that would be so damning as to force Disney to settle because they already made it clear they don't like Carano's kooky-ass politics. They weren't hiding it, they literally told everyone that's why they didn't want to work with her. This isn't the conspiracy you're looking for. That's called the Epstein files. You know, the ones that include the pederasts that both you and Carano voted for. But her supporters really do believe that there's some smoking gun buried in thousands of emails that prove Disney colluded to not renew her contract because they don't like her political views. Which sounds like an incredibly weak and retarded conspiracy theory when you say it out loud, but then again, these aren't exactly intellectual heavyweights. As for Disney rehiring Carano, yeah, I don't see that happening. I mean, Disney did put out a statement that implied they might do that. Quote, the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against the companies. Ms. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars, and staff, and she worked hard to perfect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect. With this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Ms. Carano in the near future. But chances are they're not recasting her. Again, we don't know the details of the settlement, but it's very unlikely Disney will work with her again. Carano's political views make it clear that she wouldn't like or respect many of her co-stars, crew members, or the creative teams, and some of those people probably wouldn't want to work with her. That would kill the show before it even started. However, that hasn't stopped some of her supporters from speculating that Carano will return to The Mandalorian and get her solo show back. Let's assume that's the case, that Disney decided to recast her. What makes anyone assume they have to keep the character in the show? Even if the settlement said they had to bring back Cara Dune, I doubt it included how they have to do it or for how long. So they could easily write Carano back into the show and then kill off her character, and there's nothing she can do about it. Now, if they don't want to kill her off, they could always make her disappear. She could get sucked into a black hole or trapped in carbonite or some other Star Wars X contrivance where Cara Dune isn't actually dead, but also isn't available. Of course, if Disney were creative, they could give Carano what she wants, just not the way she wants it. There's a very obvious thing Disney can do with Cara Dune that, in canon, kinda makes sense, would tie into other Star Wars shows, and potentially allow Carano to play the character for a long time. Make Cara Dune a villain. The Mandalorian takes place before the sequels and shows how the First Order came into power. So, if Disney wanted to give Carano what she wants but not the way she wants it, they could have Cara Dune become part of the First Order. She'd have to flip on her anti-imperial views, but that's an easy thing to solve. Cara Dune could join the First Order and maybe create or be a part of the program where the First Order hunts down dissidents and illegals and kidnaps their kids to turn them into stormtroopers. She'd be like the Star Wars version of Kristi Noem, minus the puppy killing. They could even tie it to the sequels by having Cara Dune snatch up some bumbling black boy who gets the designation FN2187. And since we don't see Cara Dune in the sequels, technically, she could still be alive. They could tell dozens of stories about her escapades, and there'd be no reason for Carano to complain. She's in the show, she got her role back, and people have been clamoring for a villain's perspective for a long time. Carano would get everything she wanted, and she'd be able to show off her incredible acting chops. Done and done. Will Disney do that? Probably not. They said they look forward to identifying opportunities, which is Hollywood speak for, we're never hiring your ass again. And in all likelihood, neither would anyone else in Hollywood, because Carano has shown that if her contract doesn't get renewed, she'll sue, and no studio wants to deal with that. But would it be funny if Disney did bring her back and gave her the full Chef from South Park treatment? Yes. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.
Do it.